Between the injuries and the ending, just a tough stretch for San Francisco against that Browns team. Kyle, what did you think of the Browns and the Niners in this game yesterday? First loss of the season for Kyle Shanahan and his football team. What was your takeaway?
I want to start with the Browns. Awesome win by the Browns. Awesome home win without their backup quarterback. And, you know, we come out of the game in which the Browns have a really clutch, very tightly competitive win. And it's the Niners injuries, the Niners injuries, the Niners injuries. Do you know what the Browns have been through with their injuries? I mean, are you kidding me? That Deshaun Watson hasn't even practiced in full in over 3 weeks. He's sitting on the sideline in a stocking cap. Nick Chubb is the best player on their offense. He's out for the season. And that's just the headliners. There's a ton
Joel
of
Bitonio's their best
Bitonio is out of there. Yeah. Talk about it, Peter. So if you imagine just throwing up this morning, like, oh, I'm sorry, McCaffrey's oblique. I heard after he scored a touchdown on us. You know who we are out there with? And we just beat an undefeated team. We intercepted a quarterback who hasn't been intercepted. We just made history. We just beat Brock Purdy in a game that he wasn't knocked out of. So Cleveland matters. Cleveland's winning somehow without their quarterback who makes all the money in the world. The Jim Schwartz thing is massive. Yeah. Peter, you do the coach of the week. I don't know if you're doing Schwartz. Peter's giving me a little twinkle in his eye. Peter always does the coach of the week. It better be Jim Schwartz. We'll get to it later.
There was no number 2.
There's a lot to unpack about the 49ers. Let me just give a hot second to give credit to the Browns. It was an awesome win. Awesome win, Jay. What did you think?
100%. And you're talking about this Browns team, and you're talking about Jim Schwartz. Their defense was all over the place. And Brock Purdy's a guy that we've been championing this whole time about how well he's played and everything he's done. And you've said it, Brock Purdy, he's AI, he's not human. And we saw him look human in that game. And what's fascinating is you're watching P.J. Walker get to start. And what I enjoyed was as you're watching his defense fly around the field, and what's fun is as a former DB, crucial moment during that last drive, Jim Schwartz is dialing up man-to-man. Their DBs are impressed. You have Myles Garrett up there, guys getting after them, and they're not afraid of the moment. They went out there and they performed. Their players after the game talked about the pregame fight, and they were like, the 49ers came in here on their high horse, and we're trying to warm up. They're in our area. They're standing over there. They're staring us down, and we had to let them know, you're not walking in our house and just stomping all over our couches. The Cleveland Browns showed up, and they were ready to go. Nobody else believed in them, but they believed in themselves. And if you saw them at the end of the game, this was amazing. And it's just a regular season game. It's just week 6. But you can tell how much went into this game and what it meant for them as an organization as you're watching the players go nuts. They get a flag on the missed field goal because guys are running onto the field celebrating. Kyle, you said it. This was a great win for Cleveland, for the city, their players to go out there. The 49ers are a good team. And I know 49ers fans are waking up this morning like, did you see that Deshaun Gibson hit? We got cheated. There was also a hold on Tre'Davious Ward. So it was some calls in that last drive, but Browns get the victory. They win.
In the lead up to this game, Kyle, you said, I think the Browns, that's sneaky. And you were right. Like, they were sneaky. I did some calls going into the Sunday Fox pregame show. I'm like, so what I did, I spoke to multiple Browns sources who were like, Wednesday was our best practice we had all season. Like, Wednesday was, the guys were on, and I'm like, yeah, but Watson, don't stop with the Watson. Like, we are prepared. Wednesday, the guys were flying around. And to your point, Jim Schwartz comes out there, man to man, on all these weapons, these positionless players, these guys that are all going to the Pro Bowl, and the Browns are like man to man, let's go on defense. And they handled their business. Jim Schwartz, for whatever reason, owns Kyle Shanahan. He is now 9-1 against Kyle Shanahan, Jim Schwartz, in games where that's the case. Yesterday, Shanahan's offense had 105 yards. It's the least they've had since 2014. And you heard him in the post-game press conference. Angry, deflated. I don't think he's angry at his team. Angry at himself. There's this conundrum of he just can't get past Jim Schwartz. In the annals of time, when you talk about, Belichick versus Dungy, or you talk about the great rivalries of all time, it's Ditka versus Parcells, whatever it is, I don't think you put up Kyle Shanahan and Jim Schwartz, and yet for whatever reason, the one guy that has the code on how to beat and the key to get there, it is Jim Schwartz, and those Browns players played their butts off. Kudos to them.
You know what offensive play callers do when they have to face Jim Schwartz? Shoot. Every week they do, because what he does, you guys, is he changes the picture after the snap. Like he shows you one thing and then he shows you another thing. And you mentioned positionless players, right? That's a term we use in the National Football League when you're talking about a player who can do everything and be versatile and multiple. Well, Jim Schwartz actually said this week, I don't look at it like positionless players. I look at the San Francisco 49ers as multi-position players. You got Deebo Samuel, he talked about, who's wide receiver and a running back. You've got George Kittle, who's a receiver and a tight end. You've got CMC, who's a receiver and a running back. I mean, the list goes on. Brandon Ayuk has been extremely productive for them. And so Jim Schwartz went into this, and the other comment that he mentioned is he said, when I, go about creating a game plan, I'm not going against a play caller. I am actually going against his players. So what he did is he started with the quarterback in Brock Purdy. Purdy had the worst game of his career, and then he went to the skill players. He took the head off the monster, or the neck, whatever
it is.
Term, and everything fell apart for the San Francisco 49ers. It was I don't use the word unbelievable, but I'll say it. It was unbelievable to watch, but then it wasn't, because this is the #1 total defense in football for a reason. I'm actually not shocked, and I'm okay with it. I think the Niners have such great leadership on their roster. You think about it, right? Fred Warner, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa. They're going to be just fine in San Francisco, but that was a hell of a performance by the Cleveland Browns, and the dogs came alive.
They did. I got edited about 20 million times on social media about Bot Purdy and Brock Purdy. He's human now. He's human. He's not a machine. And I laugh.
What's your explanation to that?
Malfunction?
This is a little bit of a sprinkle to kind of keep the people away, the authorities?
You people don't understand.
I saw that segment, though. You said Bot Purdy. Like Justin Fields said a couple weeks ago, I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
So was it actually, do we want him to be a robot?
Well, we want to survive. This is a dangerous time. You guys, you have to understand the sophistication of the machines. It's artificial intelligence. The algorithm is so sophisticated such that it becomes aware when there is too much heat on it, and you need to show that you're vulnerable, that you need to show. Understand this. This is the plan. They're on Monday Night Football next week. They can't have too much exposure to the machines, or then they're on to the machines. This is an obvious and deliberate military tactic to show vulnerability and weakness, so as we all think as humanity that he's not a machine. I saw it coming a mile away. I said all week that they're going to lose.
When you heard the word MVP or the term MVP, you
That's
knew that was the machines were coming.
I thought it was the elements, the rain and everything. Machine doesn't operate well.
Jason, I respect the theory. It's not MVP. It's USB. That's what they plug him in with the game plan. Watch. It's all part of the algorithm, guys. I laugh and I actually cry when you think he's human. He's human. Please keep your eyes open. I'm doing the best I can. There's only so much I can do.
Well,